Hey everybody, it's Allison, the Holistic Homesteader. Today I'm going to show you a really cool wall feature we have in our dining room. All right, so this is like my favorite little corner of the house. I just replanted that giant peace lily and that aloe plant. Over here I have a pineapple growing. This has been growing now for probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, probably 3 years at this point. It was really easy to do. When you get a pineapple, if it looks really healthy, chop the top off where the leaves are and peel back like the bottom 5 layers of leaves on the top of your pineapple, like where the green part is. And then stick that down into water and it'll root, and then you can plant it. And now a little baby pineapple is going to grow right up through the center of this. So there we go with those side notes. Whenever I transplanted all of the snake plants, I see one of these is actually dying. It's turning quite brown at the bottom. Whenever I transplanted all of my snake plants, all of the ones that were broken, I just put in a cup of water, and I'm gonna have to cut that one that's turning yellow. I'm gonna have to cut it off and stick it down in further, but you can root them. They're not trash whenever they break off. You can very easily root those. So one more thing that I had done the other day after doing my big snake plants and my big peace lily was I had taken all of these down, and I had, they were just a jungle. It was, I'll try to find a picture and stick it in here. But this was like, and I also had these big trees in here too. So I took everything apart. I dumped all of the sand and dirt and rocks out of them, and just completely emptied them out. I filled them with new rocks, fresh dirt, fresh sand on the top, and then I really went through and just weeded them out and just put a few of these back in. So I figured I would show you how easy this was to do. We literally just took a 1x4 and we just left it bare wood because we like that kind of look. We screwed it directly to the stud. Each of these is hitting a stud. So we are sure that they are not going anywhere because all of these jars are pretty heavy. So after we did that then, what Brian did, Brian took O-rings and he used little screws, and he screwed these O-rings directly to the board. So I grabbed a screwdriver and I'm just going to show you. These O-rings are so convenient because you can loosen them and you can tighten them just with a little screwdriver. So I'm going to take this apart and I'm going to show you how this is done. All right, so there's my jar. I'll get back to why I have burlap on these in a minute, but I'm just going to show you real quick. This is what I'm talking about. So this is just a standard O-ring. You can get this at Lowe's probably. You can get this at Tractor Supply, Rural King, I imagine. These are just normal old screws. They weren't that long. They were maybe an inch long, but probably not even that long. And we used a drill, and he drilled those directly into the wood. Now what's nice about these O-rings is that they can loosen and tighten, like I said, so easily. Now, I had talked about having burlap on these, and these have been on this wall for years and years, probably 5 years, I think. And what I had found back in the day, my plants did not do well having exposure, the dirt exposed directly to the sun. This window here is massive, and we get direct east-facing light. So for the first few hours in the morning, this wall is bombarded with sunlight, and my plants were really not doing well. So I went to, I believe, Joann Fabric, and I got this burlap and this fake moss, and I just hot glued these around the jars, and I found that my plants did way better. So I had, this jar here is bare and this jar here is bare because I had a blue zigzag chevron pattern of burlap and I really did not like it. So I'm going to be painting all the walls here in the house, and I'm going to do some type of charcoal gray, I believe. So I like the dark blue with the charcoal, but I was not a fan of the brown and blue chevron. So I'm going to find new blue burlap and get those wrapped, and if they have moss, fine. If they don't, whatever, I really don't care. So yeah, whenever I plant these, I'll go back to this one because it's down here and you guys can see this is literally just wrapped around, and then I did the seaming in the front, and then that's where I put this fake moss. And I did that just to hide the seam, I guess. You could do the seam in the back and avoid the moss, or you could wrap in anything you really wanted, but this was just kind of the look I was going for. So all I did, I can show you these ones better since they're bare. You can see, this is the best example. You can see I have some rocks down in the bottom, and there's quite a bit of water in there yet. So that will help, and you can tell the soil is pretty moist. I have dirt, a good amount of dirt, and I always have about an inch of sand to combat those fungus gnats. Fungus gnats cannot thrive in sandy soil, so make sure you have an inch of sand on top of every single one of your houseplants, and you would never get those darn tootin' fungus gnats. All of these are the exact same. These 7 are all exact same. I'm not exactly sure what that plant is. I'd have to do a plant ID on that. It's just something I'd found at Lowe's. Or actually, I believe that this came from like 1 or 2 little starts out of a funeral basket way back in the day. And it has just kept multiplying. So, and then I have a little start of a peace lily up here too. The peace lily does not like a lot of direct sunlight, so that's why I have it the furthest on this side and way up in the corner. What else? Yeah, so you could put 5 across. You could make this however big you want. Make sure that you get this board directly into your studding so that it does not tear up your drywall. And I water everything about once a week. And like I said, I have a lot of sun, so come summer, I will be shutting these curtains just to help protect these plants because it will be so brutally bright and hot. You could do these without any dirt in them too. Just make them flower vases and have flowers or, you know, funky greenery popping up out of it, or even use it for artificial. I'm not a fan of the plastic, but you know, if you like to have some color in your home, well, it'd be a good option for you. Get out there and forage for some wildflowers. It's spring out there. You can see everything's coming to life back there. So I just put this one back in there with this screwdriver, and I wanted to point out a few tips if you were to do something like this in your home. Whenever you go to put these back in, and when you go to take them off, always make sure you are supporting the bottom of this with one hand, because these can slip out and then you're going to smash it on the floor and it's going to be a huge mess. So don't do that. Always make sure you support this. One more thing, do not over tighten these. These, and I know from experience, folks, if you over tighten these, they will crack the jar and then you're in a whole nother type of mess. So 2 tips for you guys. All right, everybody, I hope you have enjoyed this plant wall feature video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We'll see you next time. Bye.